ultimate fanfare.
It's ultimate fanfare.
What's going on, world? What's happening? We're back again, the Play Action Podcast. We got Brandon here, and we got my dog Colin. What's up, bro?
Oh, man, it has been a heck of a week. I gotta say, college football has been kind of letting me down a little bit. Not that it's been bad games, it's just everyone who's supposed to win won. And so there's only really two things I want to talk about. I know you're going to add one more in there, as you should, but the Indiana, 19th ranked Indiana stomped out number 9 Illinois, 63-10. That was a stomp. That is a game no one expected to happen the way it did. I mean, 63-10. Illinois, just go home, don't ever come back again. You're fighting a line, but you're not really fighting very well, right? You got to fight if you're going to be the fighting line, right? And then the other thing is with Oklahoma. So this is like a personally for me as a veteran, it just bothers me. But anyway, so Oklahoma is under fire for considered a hideout tactic that violated the sportsmanship conduct rules in college football. At least that's what people are complaining about. So basically what happened is that the wide receiver, Sindega, went towards as if he's going to go out of bounds, right? And, to go into, get any players in. But anyway, he doesn't go out of bounds. They snap the ball. He flies down the field, wide open, easy score. And the opposing coach is upset because I think it's a hideout tactic. It's sneaky. It's considered unsportsmanlike to be deceptive. And that's one thing in college football now. They don't like deception, like play action, like a flea flicker. Those are all deceptive moves. But my thing is this: is that if we're gonna sit there and say, "Hey, we're going to war, we're going to battle," because this is a strategic game like chess. Well, in real war, like in the Revolutionary War, we could have just sit there and waited for, the Brits come, hey, you fire, we fire, you fire, we fire, how wars were always fought. But what did we do? We didn't do that. We used guerrilla attacks. We were hide and shoot, ambushing them. That's how you win, by thinking outside the box, by being creative, by finding a way to produce offense in places where the defense is trying to stop you. And I think we should celebrate that instead of saying, oh, no, that's not fair because we're not smart enough to figure it out, or we lack the attention to detail to see that, oh, hey, the 11th guy is sitting over here, 10 yards behind the line. What are they doing? No, we're just going to go cry about it. So, I mean, to me, college football, if they keep on going this way, they're turning to flag football with participation trophies, and I'm not knocking any of the top teams who are playing the games the right way and all this other stuff, but when you're complaining about an offense being, genius, it says a whole lot about your team and how you see the game. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm just going to get off my soapbox there, but I just think that's a whole bunch of BS to me.
Oh, I definitely feel you, bro. I mean, it's strategy, bro. How you going to try to take out strategy in football? Come on, bro. If you're not paying attention, you're not on top of your game, and you're going to get mad at the opposing team for out-strategizing you? That makes zero sense, bro. Come on now.
Thank you.
That's terrible. And speaking of the out-strategizing, belt to ass was put this weekend to Miami to the Florida Gators. I'm a Florida boy, so I know I got to slide that one in there. I just didn't want that to be overlooked. The Canes did their thing this past weekend. Shout out my boy, Beck, the quarterback. He did his thing. I know it took later into the game for us to, extend that lead, but we made it happen, okay? It was raining, we had some external factors, but belt to ass is what happened, okay? So I just wanted to throw that out there. Yeah, I know we got NFL to talk about, but I just wanted to make sure we shout out my boy, my Canes. Canes, if I'm not mistaken, in the AP polls, I think the Canes is number 2 right now. I think so. If I'm not mistaken, I know Ohio State's number 1, but I'm just thinking, Canes looking real good right now.
Yeah, hey, speaking of Ohio State, my Washington Huskies are playing them this weekend.
Oh.
And we are 3-0 against, I don't even know if they're accredited schools. We're about to find out if Washington is really a team or are they exactly what I think they are. And, going to be just a speed bump for OSU. But we'll see.
Well, I'm rooting for you, bro. I'm rooting for y'all, bro. Because, y'all take down number 1. It's good for us. It's good for us,
Yeah.
So
well,
college
going to happen.
I'm just saying. College football is always the good when, the Florida teams are in the top 10. We got Florida State. Shout out Florida State. They won this past weekend. I believe they ranked number 8 now. That's pretty awesome. So, shout out my Florida teams. I'm sorry. I know I'm a little biased, but, I'm going to make sure I shout out my boys.
Heck yeah. So speaking of football, we had some great games, some not so exciting games. We had a lot of great football. And the first I'm starting with is the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. I think the Dolphins actually played a pretty good game. But Josh Allen put on an MVP performance with a team that was trying to keep him from moving the ball down the field. His short passing clinic was flawless. I mean, he looked very, very impressive. And, Miami, after they struggled a little bit, they had an opening touchdown drive, which was great. But then after they struggled a little bit, Tua turned it on. Tua put on a performance until he stopped performing with a brutal fourth quarter interception deep in Buffalo territory. That kind of ruined the comeback bid. But with that being said, it's kind of positive for the Dolphins. But goodness gracious, Josh Allen just looked like he was a man amongst boys. He was playing with a JV team. I mean, sidearming throws. And just emotionless. Shovel passes, little flicks here and there. He was playing the game as if, it's just too. He was playing on rookie mode. He was playing the game on freaking rookie mode.
Yeah, Josh Allen did his thing this past weekend, bro. Hats down. I've always been a Josh Allen fan, but I kind of threw some shade at him last season because I felt like that was Lamar's trophy, that MVP. But hey, bro, Josh Allen is doing his Cam Newton impersonation to me. Okay, he is doing his thing, real Superman like. Okay, so hey, the Dolphins, woo, that seat getting kind of hot down there in Miami. That temperature rising down there, cause woo. You can't take too many more losses like this. I'm just saying.
Especially when your offense is pretty healthy. I mean, Tua's there. Tyreek is every game. I feel like he's about to just lose his mind. He loses it, after the game. But I feel like every single game he's just angry, and he should be angry.
Yep.
But everyone should be angry. Mike McDaniel should be. Everyone should be angry to try and pull this thing together. Speaking of pulling things together, holy cow! Did you see Eagles and Rams?
Yes.
33-26. Philly has -1 passing yard at the half. Okay, the only points they had was a Hurts rushing touchdown. A little tush push at the goal line.
Yeah.
And so they were getting throttled. But on the second half, and we talked about this before, that Jalen Hurts doesn't have the stats that Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow has because he has all these weapons and they're a rushing team. And as much as I don't put Jalen Hurts in my top 10 because of that, we've always said that he doesn't do it because he doesn't have to. Well, this game he had to, and he did it. I mean, he ended up with the second half with 227 yards and 3 passing touchdowns in the second half. Then the defense came and helped out. 2 huge, those field goal blocks, okay, and then 1 return for a touchdown by a big, Jordan Davis. Holy, yeah. I mean, back-to-back field goal blocks. I don't think I've ever seen that before. But that special team stepped up, defense stepped up, and Jalen Hurts, you have to score points. Jalen Hurts came and did his thing with his leg, with his arm. He was absolutely brilliant in the second half, and I just want to give him his flowers.
Oh, most definitely, bro. Most definitely. Jalen Hurts played championship football. And I feel like the whole Philadelphia Eagles played championship football because, oh my God, like I said, like you just said, those back-to-back block kicks, I have never seen that in my college, my football, viewership of my life. I've never seen that. And this whole weekend, I've never seen so many block kicks in itself. Right. This whole weekend. This was amazing. Yeah, this was amazing. And the big man was moving this past weekend. Yeah, I mean, everybody, them dudes was getting it. So shout out to Georgia boys. They did their thing. I see them talking before the play, you know what I'm saying? They was getting their stuff together. I was like, okay. Yeah. They're like, okay, they look like they might, okay. Oh, and then the play happened. I'm like, oh, bro, how you block the field goal and then do the scoop and score? That was amazing in itself. At
6'5", 300 plus.
Hey,
that
bro.
was impressive. That was impressive. He ain't run like that since the combine.
And did not need the oxygen when he got to the sideline.
That's a good point, though. That is a really good point. He wasn't light at the 20,
Yeah.
had to hustle quite a bit.
Yeah, we all got that image in our head back in the day from James Harrison with the sideline of the Super Bowl with the oxygen after he just ran 100 yards until a touchdown back. But yeah, bro, he did his thing. This was amazing with the Eagles. Okay, championship football, hands down,
and worthy of a Super Bowl defending champion.
Yep.
I mean, they put a stamp on that 3-0. So I give them all the shout out. But in their division, we had the Bears versus the Cowboys, 31-14. No one's happier than me that the Cowboys lost. The only thing I wish would have happened was when Joe Milton came in, that he would have threw a whole bunch of touchdowns to really put the pressure on Dak to, are they going to... But anyway, that's just me being the hater. But anyway, Dallas was shut out in the second half when CeeDee Lamb went down and George Pickens was afflicted with the drops. But Caleb Williams was brilliant. He was looking like the number 1 overall pick that they picked a couple years ago. And he looks like the quarterback that Ben Johnson came to Chicago to coach. I mean, he came there from Detroit as an OC to Chicago to coach Caleb Williams. If they didn't have a quarterback, he's probably not going there. But he went there. Caleb had an amazing day. Almost 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, and he wasn't sacked at all. And Caleb, he has a tendency of holding the ball too much and getting sacked. No sacks, 4 touchdowns, no turnovers. A great game for Caleb.
Oh, great game for Caleb. I'm happy to see Caleb do good because hey, he's had a rough start to the career, and hopefully he's turning the corner. I hopefully good things for him. I know Pickens about to get it together though. Pickens about them drops, bro. You can't be number 1 receiver. And CeeDee's gonna be out. Like I said, it's time. It's number 1 receiver time right now. And we don't want to see you crashing out and fighting nobody just because you dropping the ball, bro. We can't have that, okay? I don't want to see none of this, the extracurricular activities with you performing like this. So Dallas gonna have to do something. And Dak, bro, I seen you lay on the ground looking for a call, like begging for calls, bro. Toughen up, bro. You the highest paid quarterback in the NFL right now. Act like it, bro.
By a bit. You're the highest paid by a bit. Okay, no one's at 59, no one's at 58 million a year. You're at 60. Speaking of Pickens losing his mind, did you see after that drop turned into an interception? It looks like the helmet lost the fight between him and Pickens because he beat the crap out of the helmet on the sideline. Like, man.
He about to get it together.
Sign it and throw it in the stands, okay? Sign the helmet, throw it in the stands, and get back out there and play. Because, I mean, Pickens has all the ability in the world. Pickens he's big, strong, fast, usually sure-handed. He's not the best route runner, but contested catches, high point in the ball. George Pickens is that dude. And if he has some good coaching, which they have over there, he can be that dude,
He has all the tools.
He does, absolutely. You just gotta get up here and stop wanting to fight everybody. Oh man, now on to the Chiefs-Giants, 22-9. Chiefs get their first win, which we're happy Chiefs got their first win. Really, the defense was the biggest component there, but we got to see some Mahomes magic that we haven't seen a little bit, but we're used to seeing over his tenure. I mean, his escapes, just moving around. We're not even rushing. Just the escapes away from pressure, away from Carter, away from Burns, away from Thibodeau, away from Dexter Lawrence. Mahomes was just brilliant. On the other side, Russell Wilson looked like week 1 Russell. I don't know what happened in week 2 Russell, but he looked like week 1 Russell, throwing 2 picks. One was bad in double coverage. The other one, Malik Neighbors, if you want to be a number 1 receiver, if you want to be considered one of the top 5 guys, if you want to be up there with Devontae Adams and those guys, then when the ball's up and it's 1-on-1, you come down with it or no one comes down with it. This whole watching the defender, catch the ball right in front of you because the ball's in the air. Both of you have had the same opportunity. Don't swipe at his head, and miss the... Go for the ball or no one gets it. So until he learn, and he's young, I get he's young, but until you learn how to be that trust for your quarterback to know that, okay, I know when the quarterback throws it to me, it's a catch or an incompletion. It can never, ever, ever be an interception when it's 1-on-1. But, hey, when you were saying, you heard the chants, right? Brian Daboll was very, very cryptic about who's going to be the quarterback coming up against the Chargers next week. And the fans were chanting, "We want Dart. We want Dart." Do you think Dart's coming against this week against the Chargers, or do you think Dart's coming, which I think will be week 5 against the lowly defenseless Saints.
I think the smart thing would be to bring Dart in for the Saints. But the pressure is mounting. I'm hearing from all levels of the organization that they are campaigning for Dart behind the scenes. So the pressure is there, and Russell is not making it hard on them. Okay, and then to Russell's credit, like we just mentioned with Pickens, with all the tools Pickens has to go high point the ball and go get that ball. That's one of those balls that Pickens would have came down with that neighbors just sat there and looked at. Like that was atrocious, bro. What are you doing? With the game you had last week with those amazing catches, you can't have those amazing catches and follow it up with you looking at an interception in your face on a one-on-one. That was terrible. So I don't know. I'm not putting all the blame on Russell, even though that interception looked bad. But like I said, that's partly on the wide receiver. The other interception, Russell, I don't know what you was doing, bro. So, hey, it is what it is. Mahomes, did Mahomes. I expected Mahomes, but bro, $1 billion Kelsey is looking old. So I'm just saying, bro. Yeah. I'm just saying, it's looking rough. It's looking rough, so we're gonna see.
I'm gonna give Kelsey a pass until Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice come back. I think once the Chiefs have that vertical threat, and Thornton was doing that for them too. But once they have their two top guys, it's really Rashee Rice because he's really a route runner. He's an overall receiver. I think Xavier Worthy is a good player, but he's really just a speed guy right now. Once they're able to open up the middle of the field, because that's where Travis Kelce lives, I think that's the best chance for us to see old Travis. If that doesn't happen, then we're gonna see Travis on the sideline next year, maybe as a tight ends coach. Actually, no, he's married to a billionaire. No, he's gonna go and do billionaire stuff. And happy-go-lucky Travis Kelce, you go do that, and we'll see. But this game I'm kind of excited about because I'm not a huge Packer fan. Browns, Packers, 13-10. Browns over the Packers. Browns were shut out going into the fourth quarter. Okay, you've shut out the Cleveland Browns. You go to the fourth quarter, you're Jordan Love, all the hype is around you. You hype yourself up. And you get shut out in the fourth quarter, and the Browns come back with 13 straight points with Joe Flacco. Oh, man. Love was sacked 5 times and couldn't figure out this Cleveland defense. Now, is Jordan Love the guy that we all think he is? Which I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's going to take him anywhere because I don't think he's a playoff quarterback. But he looked awfully human, unlike those great. I mean, he put out some numbers the first 2 weeks, but this week he just looked like another guy. He just looked like a decent quarterback. Actually, less than a decent quarterback because you lost to the freaking Browns.
Yeah, he looked real pedestrian out there, bro. I was sitting and watching the game, like I'm actively rooting against the Browns right now. So I know. So I'm sitting there like, whoa, what is going on? This is supposed to be a layup. This is supposed to be a gimme game. This is the Browns. Yeah. But then, Love kept getting pressured, got sacked a bunch of times. I'm like, bro, you don't get rid of the ball, bro. This is the Browns, bro. But defense looking stout. I gotta give credit when credit is due. I'm like, hey, I personally I'm impressed by the defense, and I have nothing bad about the defense to say about the defense. I just don't want the team to be successful because I want I want the backup quarterback. I want Shador starting. But 13 points is not successful in the NFL. So I mean, it still achieved my goal for this weekend. They didn't look astounding, and no shade to Flacco, bro. You are 40. We can't expect you to only do but so much. I see it a couple times. I don't want to sound bad about Joe, but he looked a little gun shy a couple times. Like he went down a little quick just because he saw some free runners coming at him. He was like, hey, all right, bro, calm down. I don't want to get blew up. So, hey, bro, it's time. Matter of fact, because if the old line playing like that for Joe, I don't want to see my boy get hurt, but let my boy get some play. Though. Let Shador get some tick, okay? I'm conflicted, okay? I'm conflicted. But yeah, I don't know the Browns. We'll see.
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to Joe Flacco. He was definitely under a lot of pressure. Rashawn Gary ain't no joke. I don't think people talk about Rashawn Gary that much, but they should because he is an excellent pass rusher. He's been for his whole time in the league. Maybe the numbers don't show it, but he's always he's constantly getting to the backfield, and so he did that this game, and it just wasn't enough to win. But I think it's not Rashawn Gary's fault. That's Jordan Love's fault. You got sacked 5 times. You held the ball too long, and you lost to the freaking Cleveland Browns. You deserve to lose. So I don't feel bad. Oh man! So here we talk about Miami a little bit. Miami's quarterback Cam Ward. Colts Titans. Colts 41. Titans 20. Colts rolling behind Indiana Jones 3-0 for the first time since 2009 when Peyton Manning led them to the AFC Championship game. Do you think we're going to the AFC Championship game because Danny Dimes, Indiana Jones, has got the Colts rolling and dominating? Is this fool's gold or is this Danny Dimes time?
You just said AFC, right? AFC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know who going to the AFC Championship game? It's the Ravens, bro. We ain't talking about no Indiana Jones, okay? Come on now. I mean, we could play them in an AFC Championship game, but I don't know if I see that happening just yet. But hey, bro, he broke a record this past week when that was their first time kicking a field goal. That's the first that was the longest. Like a team has went into the regular season without kicking a field goal. It's been impressive. Danny Dimes, Indiana Jones, he have been dropping them in there. So I have nothing but respect for him. And like my boy Saquon Barkley says, I don't want anybody else to succeed in the NFL outside of my team except for Indiana Jones.
Yes, sir.
So
sir.
I love an underdog story. I love, the comeback stories. The dude's been counting out, and he was definitely counted out. So it feels good. I like Indiana.
It feels really good. But of course, it's kind of like one of those things we're watching Saquon Barkley, rush for 2,000 yards with the Eagles. You're like, man, wish we had him for the Giants because he would have ran for 2,000 yards first. We don't have the line. And then you watch Daniel Jones, who he's won more games for the Colts than he did in his last year and a half with the Giants. That's crazy to me. But I am happy for him. It's tough to watch a player that you drafted, you paid a bunch of money to go succeed someplace else. But again, I'm happy for him. Go receivers and backup quarterbacks unite. Vikings, Bengals, 48-10? I don't know about you, but I never saw that coming. Especially Carson Wentz, has started for 5 different teams in 5 consecutive seasons, and he's the first person to ever do that, to start games for 5 teams in 5 seasons. And is that a testament to his durability and longevity, or the fact that you're not good enough to actually stay on a team, they're just willing to just let you go? No matter what it is, he played well enough to win. 173 yards, a couple touchdowns, but Jake Browning just played like hot trash on a Mississippi summer. It's not going to be that hard to beat that team, so really no one for the Bengals really produced very well, but it's going to bring up what we were talking about offline is, are the Bengals looking for another quarterback now? And that number 1 name keeps on coming up, Jameis Winston, all-time backup quarterback. I mean, Jameis Winston with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Chase Brown if he comes back from his injury, that can be an explosive team. I mean, a lot of touchdowns, a lot of interceptions, but at least it'll be exciting again.
Yeah, it won't be 48-10.
Facts.
Yeah, it might be 60-40 because he might throw a couple of pick sixes in there or some stuff like that. But hey, at least we get 40 points from him.
That's true. And I'll tell you, and Jamar Chase coming off Triple Crown winner will be happy getting those stats again because even though he got his money, there's an ego to football players where they want to have their personal success as well because you get the Hall of Fame off your personal success and team success if you have Super Bowls.
Yep.
but mostly off your personal success. So, I mean, I know Jamar Chase would like to have. Again, we're not knocking Jake Browning, okay? I'm not. I mean, he's from Atlanta. He's a Washington guy, so I love Jake. But Cincinnati, they're in win now mode, right? They're not in rebuild mode. They're in win, or the defense built for rebuild now. But they're meant to win now. They're paying the players to produce, and Jake's just not able to keep them up. So we'll see how that goes. Another backup here. Bucs, Jets. Not the Bucs, but the Jets. 29-27, very close game. We talk about Tyrod Taylor being an improvement over Justin Fields, or at least coming in and playing well, and he did. Come in the fourth quarter, stormed back with 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns for Tyrod Taylor. Defense blocks a field goal, runs it back for touchdowns, take the lead after down by 17. I mean, the Jets were outstanding in the fourth. I mean, they looked like a different team than the New York Jets. But Baker. We talked about Baker putting up an MVP season this year. Led the team down for a game-winning field goal as time expires, and the Bucs win again. And by the way, the Bucs have become the first team in the Super Bowl era since 1966 to win in the final minute in the fourth quarter in each of his first 3 games. I don't think this is sustainable by no means, because there's no way you're going to continue to be able to win these games at that clip. And I think things will eventually return to the mean. However, I don't think they're going to go backwards like that. I think Baker Mayfield is just going to start winning games by a larger margin and continue to press. Now, I don't think they're going to go undefeated, but they're winning these games close. They're still getting their offense together. I think the Bucs are going to sit there and going to tear it up and continue to press forward, and I think they're going to make some noise in the NFC.
Bro, I know you saw the rookie, I can't pronounce his last name, but from Ohio State that made that awesome one-hand catch.
Ibuka.
Yes. Then I noticed on the sideline right next to him as he made that catch, it was Godwin in street clothes cheering him on.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Baker doesn't even have his full roster on the field right now. Okay, so this game, the game was pretty close, but he's missing another number one receiver.
Major piece, yeah.
Like a Super Bowl champion, like Tom Brady. I remember Tom Brady was like, I did not know, of Godwin like that. I didn't know his skill set was like that. Tom Brady said, oh, this dude's the best receiver we have on the team. And at that time, they had Antonio Brown and Evans.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro.
The best hands.
Hands
ever seen.
Yeah, I'm sitting there like, who is this dude? I'm like, so I'm like, Baker's missing that dude. So, hey, the sky's the limit. For MVP Baker, that's my boy. The Florida teams, I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay. So Tyrod Taylor, you played a good game, came back looking amazing. I'm rooting for you. I want to see good things for you, but just not when you're playing Lamar or any Florida team. Sorry.
That's right. But yeah, but big ups to Tyrod Taylor. We love Tyrod. I think he's a better quarterback than people give him credit for, and he's played really well during his career.
Yep.
On to another team, again, staying in the NFC East. The Commanders, the Raiders. 41-24, Commanders continue to roll with another backup. Okay? The game was, and by the way, the game was close in the score indicates. It looks like the Commanders just blew out the Raiders. But Geno had 289 yards and 3 touchdowns, okay, and no turnovers. But he was sacked 5 times. Washington, they had a punt return for a touchdown by Lane. Debo had a kick return for 69 yards that set up a really short field for Mariota. And Marcus Mariota, coming out of Oregon, number 2 overall pick, man, he was outstanding. And there was no, like, oh my gosh, man, do we have a quarterback controversy? No, of course not. But he played so well that you don't have to rush Jaden Daniels back. Now we know, okay, cool. Yeah. Jaden's our future because Jaden is faster, more accurate, stronger arm. Everything he does a little bit better than Mariota. Mariota was just good enough to sit there and say, you know what, Jaden, heal up. We got a backup who has no ego. He just comes to ball. Get my guy set. Let's not RG3 this kid. We're not going to RG3 this kid. We're not going to put him back in when he's injured and get him injured further and ruin his career. Let Marcus cook. Jaden, you come back. You're going to lead us to the playoffs anyway.
I'm right there with you, bro. Don't RG3 this kid, bro. Let this dude just take his time, get back, because we know how talented this dude is. And this is like Marcus Mariota's my feel good story of the week. He beat his former team, and he beat his former coach that he won the Heisman with, Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
So
okay, I forgot about that. Yeah,
back in Oregon. So like it's a feel good story for me. So I'm a Marcus Mariota fan. So I want to see good things for bro, and for him to come in, step in, take care of business in front of the home crowd, get a big win. So it's nothing but good vibes for Marcus Mariota, man. I love this, and I love it. Oh, also, I love it even more just because it happened to the Raiders. So it's one of those teams that I'm actively rooting against. I'm holding grudges all season long. So I'm just going, anytime I get the chance to, you know what I'm saying, stick it to the side a little bit, you know what I'm saying, for you. Hi, Raiders.
Yeah, I think the Raiders, they're always one of those franchises that, for some reason, analysts love. They love the Raiders and they love the Chargers. And they're always going to rate them really, really high, even though I don't think they're always justifiably high. But I don't know. I like the Raiders. I like Geno. I like Ashley Genty. I like Brock Bowers. I think they've got some good pieces. Now, I don't know if Pete Carroll's the guy because I think Pete Carroll's a win-now coach. I don't know if they have a win-now team. Only because Pete is, every birthday he has, he's setting the record for the oldest coach in the NFL. Yeah. Every single year he set the record for the oldest coach. So, I don't know how long he's going to coach for, but he looks like he can coach for another 10 years.
Yeah, he really do.
Who knows? If he's going to be a Joe Paterno type and he's going to be there in crutches in a wheelchair. And if he is, he can still coach. But my surprise game of the week, and it's not a surprise on who played, but a surprise on the score. Panthers over the Falcons, 30-0? 30-0? I mean, the Panthers' defense ain't nothing. They ain't special. The offense ain't special. Atlanta's defense is playing pretty well. Their offense is supposed to be this great explosive offense. That's what I've been saying. Now I look like an idiot. How the heck do you play a goose egg against the Panthers? This should have been this should have been 30-0 the other way. But Bryce Young was the first overall pick for a reason. I don't know if he's coming to his own because he has these flashes, right? He has these little flashes. But he finished up with 121 yards and no passing touchdowns. The Panthers ran for 110 yards and 30 carries for 3.6 yards per carry. This wasn't an offensive explosion. This was defense shutting down, an on paper very good offense is really what all this was. And I'm very disappointed in Atlanta because Michael Penix is known to have a strong arm. If anything, he's known to have such a strong arm, he doesn't have much touch. He just happens to throw fastballs everywhere. And then you got Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and Bijan Robinson, who we talked about, in my opinion, is the top running back in the league. And you put up a goose egg. It's hard to be impressed with Carolina, anything, but I guess I got to say their defense was pretty good. But daggone it, the Falcons, you got to get this stuff corrected, or else you're there with the Browns and the Bengals without Burrow and the Lions and the Giants. I think you're better than all those guys by a mile. But that game, that gave me concern.
Oh, bro, it is major concern over here. I'm over here in hot Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Bro, the general consensus is we had that dude with Penix. We had, somebody that was going to right the ship, make sure everything was on point, everything good. I don't know what is going on. I know Bryce Young need to write a thank you letter to the Falcons organization for saving his job for another week. Cause bro, like this dude has been looking real mediocre these first 2 weeks. So I don't know what is going on. It's looking crazy. But 30-0, I would have never called this. I'm right there with you, bro. I was like, Falcons, fight back, do something, run the ball, like give it to Robinson, like bro, like he can get you something, bro. Like what is, like everybody was around here confused. Everybody was around here confused. Like what is going on? So yeah, I'm right there with you. This was my surprise of the week, and then my next, the next, team we're gonna talk about that's another surprise, but that's crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think it's just really surprising. One, it's the Panthers. I never expect the Panthers to shut anybody out. I mean, ever. Maybe a 3-0 game. I can see a 3-0 game, a 6-0 game, even maybe a 7-0 game. Never a 30-0. That's just embarrassing.
I can't name anybody on the Panthers defense. I'm sorry. I mean,
Did they draft somebody?
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
No idea.
I usually I can name somebody.
Simmons, defensive tackle. Simmons.
Okay.
And he's a pretty good D tackle. If I got the right guy. Yeah. Wow. A bunch of known. But hey, shout out to defensive coordinator. Good job.
Yeah.
You did well. You did well.
Yeah.
Another surprise. Ooh, okay, I'm not surprised with the score. I'm not surprised with the winner. I'm more surprised with a particular play. I think that you are too, and it's Jags-Texans. Jags over the Texans, 17-10. It's all three Texans losses were by one score. So, I'm not worried about the Texans not competing. I think the Texans are playing hard because, they're right there in the games. But, Jake Browning and the Bengals put 31 on the Jags last week. Jake Browning put 31 on the Jags.
Yeah.
Texans pulled up 10 with C.J. Stroud, okay, and Nico Collins and the bunch. So I'm really more concerned about C.J. Stroud and that makeshift line. He was only sacked twice, but let's see, his QBR per QBR rating, this was his best game with 1 touchdown and 2 more interceptions. Was considered his best game this year so far. I think he'll turn around heading to Tennessee because that seems to be everyone seems to play a little better against Tennessee. But after that, they get the Ravens the week after that, though. So if they don't perform against Tennessee,
Yeah.
you're gonna have a hard game against the Ravens following that game. So Houston, get your stuff together. D'Amico Ryans, get your team ready because if you don't beat Tennessee, you're gonna be 0-5 come the following week because the Ravens are coming hard and they're not messing around. Lamar is playing like Josh, where he's not even trying. He's just out there balling, having fun, flicking the ball around. Derrick Henry is doing Derrick Henry things, but I don't know what's going on with C.J. Stroud. I need him to turn around because we talked about the sophomore slump. Now he's looking like he's having the junior slump, which I don't know if it's a thing, but we're about to call it a thing. I thought C.J. was going to be the next great quarterback in this league, and then we saw Jaden Daniels come. Oh man, now Jaden Daniels too. No, now it's just Jaden Daniels, and I don't know what happened to CJ. Is CJ going to be okay?
I don't know, bro. Like, the jury is definitely out on CJ because, bro, this dude is looking trash these first couple weeks. And I'm sitting there like, bro.
Compared to his rookie season, yeah.
Compared to his rookie season, I know, like they said, after the second, third year, defensive coordinators usually figure out, young quarterbacks. Bro, make some adjustments. Fight back. Do something, bro. Come on, bro. You are looking atrocious these first couple weeks. Make some adjustments. Do something. Like, talk to the coaching staff. Like, hey, I'm seeing this. I'm seeing X, Y, and Z. Make something happen because right now, it's looking like a real big disappointment. Because, bro, we had high hopes for you. And as of right now, I am severely disappointed, and I do not see any bright spots moving forward in the future with him. Like, I don't see anything promising with this dude.
Yeah, I'm hoping that this is just a big bump in the road. And I mean, we both watch enough CJ. We know that he studies. We know he does a lot of film. I mean, he's a brilliant kid. He really is, and he's young. He's 23. So I don't think this is the end of the line for him. Hopefully not. But he either needs to go and talk to the offensive coordinator and his passing game coordinator and figure out we have the talent. Granted, the line is patchwork, but we've seen Joe Burrow operate behind a really bad line, okay? And we've seen a bunch of quarterbacks operate poorly, but CJ has always played pretty well. His rookie year, he didn't have a great line. Rookie year, the line wasn't very good.
Yeah.
But he still produced big numbers and still took him to the playoffs. And so I think CJ's got all the ability in the world. He's got the brains. He's got a good arm. He's got enough mobility. He's got enough awareness. I'm wondering if this is the way the game's being called. But CJ's outspoken enough to where you figure he would say, like you said, he would say something. Say something.
Yeah, something.
And D'Amico is a new coach. This is his first time being a head coach, and he's a he was a defensive coordinator in San Francisco before this.
Yeah.
So he needs to go and get with his OC and say, hey, look, we need to get this thing fixed. He may not know how to fix it, but you got to bring in some other people that can fix this because you got too much talent. You got a top flight quarterback you're going to ruin if you don't get this shit right as soon. You know, and that's just. And I'm rooting for the Texans. I mean, I live in Texas, so I'm going to root for the Texans.
Yeah.
F the Cowboys. But I want to see D'Amico succeed. I want to see because they got too much talent on the offense and the defense.
Yeah.
Derek Stingley is a top 3 corner in this game. Okay, you got Willen. You've got a ton of freaking talent on that team. There's no reason you should be 0-3. Okay, let alone if you lose to Tennessee and then the Ravens, you 0-5. There's no. No. That's it's not going to cost anyone jobs. Well, not head coach jobs, but I can see some coordinators leaving.
Yeah, I could definitely see some coordinators leaving.
Man, let's talk about 2 teams that no one really talks about because they're the Seahawks and the Saints. The Seahawks, though, dropped 44 points on the Saints. Now, 44 points on the Saints, whatever, it's no big deal. But still, dropping 44 points, they own this game from beginning to end. From coin flip to the sound of the buzz to triple zeros, Seattle took them to the woodshed. Sam Darnold looked like Minnesota Sammy, going 14 for 18 for 218 yards, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers, in a pretty easy game. We already knew the Saints are struggling. I mean, you drafted Tyler Shuck in the 2nd round, but you're starting Spencer Rattler. For some reason, nobody knows why. I guess obviously you don't think Shuck is ready, so I'm going to put in Rattler. Okay, fine, whatever. That's good. But man, Seattle, holy cow. I mean, they've got a decent little squad there. I don't know if they're going to surprise too many teams anymore after dropping 44, but Sam Darnold looked like he's like, look, I'm not New York Jets Sam. I'm still Minnesota Sammy.
Oh, most definitely. Like, Sam was looking good yesterday, bro. Like, that he was slinging that ball all around the field. And then shout out my boy Horton, the wide receiver that had that kickoff return. That's like the first one in like a couple like years for Seattle. Yeah. I think they might have even said a decade. It went before, since last time they had a kickoff return. Shout out, bro, because Horton, he had a breakout game when they played Colorado versus Colorado State like 2 years ago when he shined when they played against he straight out embarrassed Travis Hunter. But like that was that game that, well, I don't want to say embarrassed because that's the game that Travis Hunter got hurt. They hurt Travis Hunter and everything, but like he balled out that game. So and like he had an opportunity to transfer to another school for big money, and he was like, oh no, I'm going to finish it here. Da, 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 da. I was like, bro, you should have went and got the money, bro. What are you doing?
Yeah. I was gonna get that money.
Yeah, but he shined in the NFL right now, so I like to see that making big plays because he looked like an NFL wide receiver when I watched that game in college. So I'm happy to see him shine. And exactly, he belongs. And with the Saints, yeah, that's another team that they could have drafted Shador. So the Aints as the Aints again. Yeah, the Aints again. So it is what it is.
Free Alvin Kamara. Let him go win someplace else. Yeah, because I think Alvin Kamara's still a good running back, and I'd like to see him be a backup someplace. I don't know if he can be a lead back anymore. I have no idea. He hasn't had that opportunity because he doesn't have a passing game.
Yeah.
But I would like to see him. Maybe a Ravens backing up Derrick Henry. That would be a great 1-2 punch.
Yeah, might be the unfair 1-2 punch.
Hey, you want to win. You got to be unfair sometimes, right?
I'm with it because the Eagles is not fighting fair.
Hell no, they're not. But, man, Howard Roseman is a genius. He is a financial wizard. I don't know how he does it, man. Hey, speaking of wizards, 49ers over the Cardinals, 16-15. Okay, and by the way, they both came in unbeaten, by the way. Both 2-0 going into that game. Mac freaking Jones plays well again. 284 yards and a touchdown. He's 2-0 now. I mean, Mac Jones. Mac Jones. I don't know, but again, Brock Purdy, your job is safe. You're the $200 million man. But Mac, you keep on playing well. Someone's going to want a player like you. And the Aints need a player like you.
Yep.
Okay? The Browns. I mean, they have Shador, but they need somebody to come and make some plays for them. And Mac Jones, he's over there. He's balling out there. And by the way, he doesn't have a full complement there with the Niners. right? They don't have Brandon Ayuk out. Juwan Jennings is constantly dinged up. Christian McCaffrey played, but he didn't have a very good game rushing attack. He had 8 catches for 80 yards in the passing game. So, I mean, he played well in the passing game. But they're missing all their top flight stars, and Mac Jones is still out there balling and winning. So shout out to Mac Jones. Not a 49er fan, but like you, I love an underdog story, and I like to see these backups play well.
Oh, I love to see backups play well. And then for Mac Jones, to get outside of Belichick's shadow, because he had that dark cloud over him with Belichick out there in New England. So go to the other coast and get away from that dark cloud over there in New England.
Warm weather.
Yeah, so exactly. So that warm weather doing well out there in St. Clair. So, man, bro, I'm just happy to see him do well. This was a tight game. I'm happy. Like I say, I'm happy to see Matt Jones do well with this situation. Kyler Murray, I didn't want to see Kyler Murray lose, and Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm a fan of both of those players, but hey, bro, somebody had to lose, and Matt, like you said, Matt Jones is balling, bro. Who? Matt Jones.
Telling you, man. I mean, they're looking good. Staying with the 49ers, some key injuries that can affect, fantasy games, but really just the real games there. And that one is Nick Bosa went down with the ACL. I think that's a huge hit for the Niners because he is their best defensive player. Well, probably him and Fred Warner, right?
Yeah.
Those two guys play well with each other. Nick's rushing the passer. Fred Warner's cleaning up all the trash. You're not really getting anything past those two guys. And with Bosa going out, it's going to put a lot of pressure on those linebackers now to contain quarterbacks because Nick is he's unleashed. Quarterbacks know, crap, okay, he's coming. I can't go that way. I'm going to have to go in the other direction or step up in the pocket. And that's tough to do against, again, the Niners front. They got a great front. But Bosa out, this could be a problem for them for a while. And also Najee Harris, Chargers running back, also out with an Achilles injury. But they drafted Omarion Hampton in the first round this year. And if it wasn't for Gentry's otherworldly season, Omarion Hampton would have been the number 1 running back drafted. Dude is the real deal. Physical, fast, tough. He's gonna put on. If you haven't taken Omarion Hampton in as a handcuff in your fantasy leagues, you missed out because he's gonna run for 1,000 yards this year. Because Harbaugh. Well, it was a big throwing game for Harbaugh, but Harbaugh, what does he do? College, NFL, run the ball. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna run the ball. So, but yeah, those are the two major injuries. I know you had a couple more that you saw also that may have some impacts.
Oh, no, I was just saying Bosa, man, that just sucks to see Bosa go out there like that, man, with that injury, because that ACL, we know that's a year-long injury, and then with Najee Harris, that non-contact injuries, when I seen it, I was like, yeah, the quarterback had to, leap over him, because he didn't want to trip over him, but I was like, bro, oh, man, we see him grab his leg, we see him take off his helmet and put it back on real quick. He didn't want to get the team, and that was awesome too. I peeped that he didn't want to get the penalty for the team and take off his helmet, even though he was probably in some excruciating pain. Yeah, he could have took off the helmet, but I saw the thought process in his head. He was like, "Oh, I don't want to get a flag." But bro, that was just a terrible injury. We don't never want to see that, and I hate to see those non-contact injuries.
Exactly. It reminded me of Kevin Durant when he tore his Achilles. He was just coming in from out of bounds.
Yeah.
And just take that one step off and boom, and snapped it.
Yep.
And when I saw that, I was like, oh man. You had to feel for him.
Yeah, I forgot the other injury. Yeah, I want to see Bo come back quick because that injury was gruesome with James Conner, the running back for the Cardinals, bro. They showed it on the big screen at the stadium, and the crowd just gasped. They didn't even show it on television in the slow mo. So I'm happy they did, cause I saw the fast replay of it, and it was gruesome. I was like, oh my god. So it was like CD Lamb ankle got caught up, and CD Lamb's out for another 3-4 weeks. It was like that, but a whole bunch of other weight on top of it. So it was just gruesome.
That's all. But that's the game that football is, and it sucks to see these injuries. But the silver lining is, we get to see the backups come and have potential to perform.
Yep.
And write their own careers, feed their own families. places you may not be able to see for a little bit. But if we get people to come up there and they play well, then maybe they get a chance to maybe start and take over.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I don't want them to lose their job, but that is the nature of this game. It's the nature of this game.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna finish. The last topic I got is the WNBA, and we're fans of WNBA.
Yeah.
I think that, but I'm very critical of them too. I'm extremely critical, and I'm really critical of what happened here. And some people think it's a small thing, but to me, this is a league issue, and that is our lady A'ja Wilson. Right, she won her 4th MVP, well deserved. She's the only player in WNBA to have 4 MVPs. Okay, she broke the tie with 3 MVPs with a whole bunch of people. Now she's the only person with 4 MVPs. But do you remember SJ when he got his MVP earlier this year? It was Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals, and he got it before the game. So the stadium's full. They got the lights. They got the award, the whole award ceremony, everything like that, right?
Yep.
And that was his first MVP. Now A'ja Wilson's getting her 4th MVP. Man, what would you think the WNBA is going to do for that? Let's get a empty gymnasium. Not a gym, not an arena. An empty gymnasium with some people, some family. Dad's wearing a pink wig because A'ja's got a pink wig too. And A'ja's dressed like in some 10-year-old I'm ready to go swim in the pool, type gear. And they're just going to give it to her right there. When the Las Vegas Aces, by the way, are playing a playoff game at home on Tuesday. Why don't you present her the trophy pregame in front of her fans, in front of the world, to show this is what the WNBA is all about? Instead, we're going to go and do this. The league is so directionless and lacks leadership. Like during the All-Star game, when the women are wearing pay switch, hey, I'm cool about that. I'm fine. But then you got to make sure they go and play. But instead, they play like trash. They didn't even try. It's like they mailed it in for that game. And don't get me wrong, a lot of the NFL Pro Bowl is a lame game as well. But the NFL's established. Okay, the WNBA came out in 1997. So we're talking 28 years. We're 2 years away from being a 30-year-old league, and we're looking at it as if it's like year 3 or 4. We already have a problem with they're not advertising properly. They're not giving enough, they're giving too much shine to players that are just on Instagram. No shade to Angel Reese, but even she would probably know what I'm talking about, where it's like, okay, why don't we go and highlight her play and not just what she does on Instagram? But it's like, we know these ladies can ball. We know they can ball. We know they can play. But the WNBA leadership is treating the WNBA like Fight Club. Okay? Hey, and Brandon, what is the first rule of Fight Club?
You don't talk about Fight Club. Crazy, bro. I don't know. I agree with you 1,000%. I don't know what is going on. Like, when we talked earlier, we saw that on camera, and I was like, they presented her like this? Like this?
4-time MVP?
4-time MVP, bro. This is... Like, we would never even think about doing LeBron like this, bro. Come on, bro. Like...
Never.
This is crazy. This is crazy. So I'm with you 1,000% with this. This is just outright disrespectful. Like this is Bush League material. Like Bush League material. This is crazy. But yeah, man. So WNBA, please do better moving forward. This is atrocious. I don't know what. Hopefully, because what we just saw on the internet and YouTube, hopefully you got something planned. And hopefully somebody sees this if you don't have something planned and plan it for the game. Because, bro, this is crazy. That presentation, it was cool having a boyfriend, Bam Bayou there, shout out Bam, with the Heat. But come on, bro. Like y'all got to do a better job at presenting your 4-time MVP, their trophy. So
pathetic. Yeah.
Absolutely pathetic. So, but man, I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. We got Monday Night Football tonight. We know the Ravens play tonight. So, woo! Football is here. Y'all gonna be checking us out, man. Every week, tap in, please. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know the topics y'all want us to talk about. Or if we missed some teams that we didn't bring up your team that you want to talk about, let us know. You know, we try to cover everybody, so let us know. But, man, appreciate y'all. Tap in. See y'all next week. I'll holler at y'all.
Welcome to the show where the game comes alive. Breaking down the plays, we keep the spirit high. From the field to the mic with passion and flair. It's the Play Action Podcast, your ultimate fanfare.
It's all some more fanfare.